let her run.
The Chiron comes with 2 aluminum keys. The main fob is wrapped in stitched leather to match the interior's color theme. Like the radiator emblem up front, the fob's Bugatti logo is made using pure silver and enamel. The speed key, which unlocks the potential for maximum speed runs, is a bit smaller and polished to a high sheen. Each key also has its own storage area within the interior. The main fob can be locked in place to the right of the steering column, while the speed key stows in a little pocket to the left of the driver's seat. Like the Veyron, the Chiron is completely bespoke, with limitless ways you're able to personalize it to ensure it looks like no other. Options range from colors and finishers to wheels, exposed carbon fiber bodywork, upholstery, and so much more.
To start, just make sure you have the key fob within the interior, then simply put your foot on the brake and hit the blue engine start button in the bottom right-hand corner of the steering wheel to go.
The Chiron adopts electrically assisted rack and pinion steering to replace the Veyron's hydraulic setup. Specific stats are not available yet, but the Veyron had an overall ratio of 17.2 to 1, took 2.5 turns to lock, and had a turning circle of 39.3 feet. The switch to EPS should not only enhance powertrain efficiency for the next generation Bugatti, but allow for greater tuning and adaptability to different driving modes. The Chiron also receives redesigned front and rear axles, while the double wishbone suspension features newly developed chassis bushings that are bolted directly to the monocoque. Bugatti claims these changes yield more immediacy and readiness to driver input. Key emphasis was placed on the responses of the steering, brakes, and the accelerator pedal to create a car that feels more direct with excellent directional stability. It's all routed through a sporty 3-spoke flat-bottom steering wheel that can be had fully leather-wrapped or a combination of carbon fiber like you see here. The detailing is wonderful, featuring plenty of bright work and polished hollow aluminum spokes, not to mention thick grip bolsters at 10 and 2. Controls for the infotainment, hands-free telephone, and driver information systems can be found in the upper spokes. In addition to the starter button, a dial to the opposite side houses a variety of drive modes that we'll cover later in the video. It's all finished off by the Chiron logo in the bottom spoke and a button to engage launch control. Like the Veyron, the Chiron sends its power to a permanent all-wheel drive system through a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. It's been thoroughly updated to handle the insane torque output of the redesigned W16 engine. The all-wheel drive system is rear biased by default, with torque being sent to the front on demand by Haldex coupling on the front differential. Further control is provided by an electronic lock and rear differential. Most of the transmission's internals are new, including the synchros, hubs, forks, and even the transmission oil. Bugatti claims the new 6-plate clutch is also the largest, highest-performing clutch ever used on a passenger car. All of this was done while maintaining the same weight as the previous DCT. One thing that hasn't changed is the pattern of the electronic shifter. By clicking it to the right, you can switch between automatic or manual shifting with rev-matching downshifts. Clicking it to the left puts it in neutral, while left and down is reverse. A backup camera will appear on the right side of the new instrument cluster. To place it in park, just press the top button on the shifter, which is beautifully finished in polished aluminum and leather. Manual shifting can be performed via the metal paddle shifters mounted behind the steering wheel or by the console shifter itself. The Veyron was able to perform a gear change in less than 150 milliseconds, but the Chiron is claimed to be even quicker at just 100 milliseconds.
So let's go ahead and flip on the automatic LED headlamps and the hazards.
When the Bugatti Veyron debuted back in 2005, it turned the automotive world upside down as one of the most technologically advanced supercars ever created. Featuring a quad-turbocharged 16-cylinder engine, the original Veyron 16.4 was capable of accelerating to 60 miles an hour in less than 3 seconds and hit an incredible top speed of 253 miles per hour. Of course, that only tells part of the story, as to achieve numbers like that in the first place, it takes an incredible amount of engineering know-how with regards to cooling, aerodynamics, and stopping power. A total of 450 Veyrons were produced over a period of about 10 years, including 300 coupes and 150 roadsters. 2 of which, the Supersport and Grand Sport Vitesse, both hold world speed records of about 268 and 254 miles per hour respectively. The Chiron represents the next chapter for Bugatti and is claimed to be the most powerful, fastest, most luxurious, and the most exclusive production super sports car in the world. The Chiron is a completely new development for Bugatti that takes everything that made the Veyron an icon and elevates it to a new level of prestigious performance, a car that is as well rounded as it is opulent. A few highlights include a new carbon fiber monocoque, a newly designed adaptive chassis, bespoke tires, a redesigned W16 engine, and so much more. The Chiron will be limited to 500 units and come at a base price of €2.4 million, or between 2.6 and 2.7 million US dollars. Like the Veyron, it'll be completely built by hand at the company's French headquarters in Molsheim. With the market launch coming up later this year, at this point a third of the total production has already been pre-ordered. The Chiron is built on a rolling chassis concept and features a redesigned carbon fiber monocoque that takes about 4 weeks to produce. The rear end of the chassis is also made from carbon fiber, unlike the Veyron's stainless steel structure, helping shed 8 kilograms or 17.6 pounds of weight. It's attached to the monocoque by 12 titanium bolts. Carbon fiber also makes its way to the flat underbody and many other components throughout. With a torsional rigidity of 50,000 Nm per degree of twist and a flexural rigidity or bending resistance of about 0.25 mm per ton, the Chiron has a level of stiffness comparable to Le Mans prototype race cars. With all the additional carbon fiber, weight remains similar to the Veyron despite being a larger car. The Chiron is longer by 3.2 inches, it's wider by 1.6 inches, and it's taller by 0.3 inches, leading to greater interior room and cargo space. While the Veyron used a combination of aluminum and carbon fiber for its bodywork, the Chiron's body is entirely made from carbon fiber for reduced weight. Perhaps the most distinctive, aside from the C-shaped Bugatti lines around the doors, is the central fin, which extends over the entire vehicle front to back. The one-piece Bugatti lines, while available in a variety of colors, comes in polished aluminum and are 2.8 meters or 9.2 feet long. They do an amazing job highlighting optional two-tone color themes, but also serve to guide air towards the engine intakes and oil coolers. Any exposed carbon fiber panels you see are finished in 6 layers of clear coat for a glossy and lustrous surface. The complexity of the bodywork, especially the front fenders and rear compartment lid, will leave you speechless. Panel gaps are kept to a bare minimum, especially evident with the one-piece sections that extend from the A-pillars to the rear quarters. Up front, a unique 8-eye headlamp design consists of all LEDs, which Bugatti claims at only 90mm or 3.5 inches high are the flattest LED projector headlamps ever fitted to a production car. Each headlamp uses carbon fiber and aluminum elements. Despite a form-following function styling approach, the Chiron is beautiful from every angle. One of my favorite sections is the rear end, which looks much like a concept car and was designed to ensure low drag and meet the cooling requirements we discussed earlier. It does this by creating a suction effect, drawing out 400% more air from the engine compartment. The LED tail lamps are integrated into one slender horizontal bar made from solid aluminum that also includes the reverse lights. It really emphasizes the car's width along with the full-width rear wing. The Chiron's cooling system is one of the most sophisticated setups you'll find in any production automobile. When it comes to alleviating heat buildup caused by an engine of this caliber, aerodynamics become an integral part in how effectively it's all managed. After all, Bugatti claims the engine gives off 3,000 horsepower worth of excess heat. Clever sculpting and ductwork allows air to pass through the body. Water circuit, otherwise known as the high temperature circuit, is composed of one large central radiator and 2 smaller auxiliary radiators located across the front fascia. The main radiator was raked back a bit further to increase surface area by 25%, thus increasing its effectiveness. The outer intakes also supplement the air condenser and provide additional brake cooling. The high-temp system holds 37 liters or 9.8 gallons of water that is able to be pumped through the entire circuit in about 3 seconds. The low-temperature circuit has a water capacity of 12 liters or 3.2 gallons and features a separate front center-mounted radiator to ensure the 2 water-to-air heat exchangers are able to maintain cool charge air temperatures, especially when in stop-and-go traffic. The other 3 circuits are fed by a pair of large side intakes just behind the doors. On the driver's side, you'll find the engine oil cooler, while transmission oil and rear axle differential oil coolers are located on the passenger side. On top of all that, the Chiron also has an oil-to-water heat exchanger for cooling hydraulic fluids. Looking closer at the body, there's air curtains at the outer edges of the front fascia to channel air around the car and a lower splitter to guide air underneath the car. This is also the first car I've seen with 3 brake cooling channels per side, or 6 in total, including 2 main channels adjacent to the headlamps and secondary channels within and underneath the fascia.